got there in what period of time and finalize what the impact was before we started back on the old stuff?
Oh, okay, good question. Question is, how long did it take before I reached a point where I felt safe or comfortable enough to eat whatever I want, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I would say for me, it took a year.
That's what I thought.
Okay? Now, given what I know today, I could have done it in 6 months. But in my case, it took a year. Yes?
What's your opinion on flu shots?
That's, yeah, what do I think about flu shots? I don't get flu shots. If you understand the biology of the flu, and again, it all comes back to biology of disease, it's a crapshoot. And even if you get it right, and you get the right protocol for the flu shot, the strain will might alter itself, and you're going to miss, there are better ways. When they want to give me a flu shot because of my diabetes, they wanted to give me a tuberculosis shot, a pneumonia shot, and I said, well, instead of weakening my immune system, why don't I try to strengthen my immune system to fight these other conditions? The doctor just shook his head. Today, my doctor asks me, yeah, Dwayne, could you give me a little bit more about what are antioxidants? How do I improve? How can I strengthen my immune system? What weakens the immune system? And in the book, I talk about the 5 dead foods versus the 5 superfoods. The 5 dead foods contribute to over 80% of all chronic disease. And I'm being conservative. It's probably closer to 90%. Yes?
You have a website.
Yes, the website is the same name as the book, Death to Diabetes. Yeah, email is the same name as the book, Dwayne at deathtodiabetes.com. If you go to the website, all the information is there. The website is in a state of flux. Marketing companies in the process of redesigning the website to make it a little bit more professional. I didn't set up a website. My daughter again convinced me, Dad, just put a page up there so they can find you. And so that's what I did. And but eventually it's going to get redesigned. Yes.
What meals do you eat 3 times a day for a year?
Okay, during my recovery. Yeah, what I was eating during my recovery and what I'm doing right now is a little different, because during my recovery, I was eating probably 4 to 5 times a day. And the key foods that I was consuming, again, the broccoli, the Brussels sprouts, the spinach, a lot of red, yellow, green, different color peppers, garlic, onions, carrots. I would use carrots, onions, garlic, peppers to give the broccoli, spinach, Brussels sprouts a different flavor. And at the same time, increase the nutritional value of that particular food. For snacks, a lot of people will have an apple or some grapes as a snack. Wrong. If you're going to have an apple or some grapes or a pear, always, especially if you're diabetic, always have a handful of almonds, walnuts, because nuts and seeds contain omega-3s and plant protein that helps to slow down the absorption, the breakdown of the glucose from the carbohydrate. Yes?
Since you are healed, do you use anything like cinnamon or enema or alpha-lipoic acid? Do you do anything?
Oh, okay. Good question. She was asking me about supplements. Supplements. Supplements, if you're a type 2 diabetic, Save your money. Save your money for two reasons. Unless you are very astute, the probability is very high that the vitamin supplement you're taking is a synthetic chemical. That's number one. Number two, if you're diabetic, the mechanisms that your cells use to absorb those nutrients can't be utilized because you have insulin resistance. The same mechanism that the cell uses a GLUT4 transport mechanism to absorb glucose into your cells. Your cells also use that same transport to absorb vitamin C. So if you're insulin resistant, if you're diabetic and you take vitamin C, you're wasting your money. Unless you take 3,000 milligrams. So the most important thing that I do with my clients is I tell them, focus on the whole food program, the super meal model. Once we've designed a nutritional profile for you, we then do a nutritional gap analysis to determine, okay, what nutrients are you missing? And then we integrate those into the program over a period of time. The reason why you want to do it that way is you'll end up, see, on one end of the spectrum, America is popping pills, lots of drugs. We're taking the drugs. On the other end, we want to take supplements, but we're popping more pills. And oh, by the way, 75% of the people who manufacture supplements are owned by the pharmaceutical companies. So make sure, wherever you're getting your supplements, that it's coming from a person of integrity. And make sure they're not connected to the pharmaceutical industry. And so supplements like alpha-lipoic acid are very powerful, very good. If you're taking the right form of alpha-lipoic acid, in fact, studies show the best form of lipoic acid in the body is called R-lipoic. But from a biochemist perspective, we're having a little difficulty trying to produce a supplement that doesn't destabilize before it gets in your body. And that's the biggest problem that we have with supplements. We know what vitamin C is. You know what vitamin E is. I'll bet most people in this room take vitamin C and or vitamin E. But I'll bet you that you're taking a chemical version. And I'll give you a very simple example. Vitamin E. Vitamin E is a molecule that exists within oil, within nuts and seeds. That molecule has 8 components, 4 tocopherols and 4 tocotrienols. When you go to GNC to pick up their vitamin E, it has only one of those 8 components called alpha tocopherol. And oh, by the way, alpha tocopherol is not the tocopherol that fights heart disease. It's gamma. Gamma is the most powerful of the tocopherols. 53 years ago, the vitamin industry made a mistake when they started producing alpha tocopherol. They now realize they made a mistake, but since you're buying the vitamins, they're not going to spend money to change their process. Yes?
What about chromium and vanadium?
Yeah, chromium and vanadium, again, are important minerals. But the mistake that is made in America, and a lady mentioned cinnamon. There are studies concerning cinnamon, but if you read the study, it's not cinnamon, it's a polymer within the cinnamon. And what happens is we'll take chromium as a supplement, or we'll take cinnamon as a supplement. But you got to ask yourself a question, how come I'm still diabetic? Because that chromium, if you want to get what's the highest bioavailable form of chromium? Anybody know what food contains the highest level of bioavailable chromium? Anybody?
Brewer's yeast?
Nope.